open, I guess, every week as we do with the hate list. Do you have any additions to yours?
I do. This is kind of a meme, and it's not something I'm like really passionate about because I find it pretty funny. But like seeing receivers play in Dallas, like every week there's been a guy who's been like, "Oh shit, sorry man, the sun was in my face."
Oh yeah,
And I'm
great.
just
Yeah.
like, how did you build this stadium where the sun is shining like it's like in the end zone too?
Well, and only Jerry could, you know, make a place called Jerry World like a disadvantage to him and his team.
Yeah, it's just it's so funny. I you know what? I don't even know if it's hate list worthy. I hate seeing guys not catch touchdowns because
Yeah.
of it, but I kind of love it because it's like it just encapsulates the Cowboys really
I mean,
well.
it's the perfect sort of like, I don't know, way to envision how the Cowboys have been since the 90s. It's like big flash, booming, big stadium. Uh, Everything's in your face, but they also suck. And it's got like
Yeah,
these
they
giant
do.
problems with it that are like the design, and it's sort of like a, I don't know, a stick under store. Like the word escapes me, but it's a sick way of showing just how bad it's been for them.
Yeah, and then we got the CD Lamb looks at the national TV camera after. I think he's done that
Right.
like 8 times this year,
Yeah.
almost
It's a
every
sick
game.
metaphor, is what it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Where he just
No,
looks
it's
at the camera and he's like, "You guys see what I'm dealing with here?"
not to mention, Cooper Rush, a combination of Cooper Rush and Trey Lance are throwing him the football. I'm really happy they gave Zeke and Dak those contracts, though. They really deserved it.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
well, I mean,
Zeke
if
thing,
Dak would have been healthy this year, they might have been able to make a run. So I'm sure I'll hear a
I do
bunch of
feel
that.
bad for Dak, and I don't. I like it's. I think people are quick to shit on Dak. I don't. There's greater problems in the Dallas world than Dak Prescott and the Dallas offense. Um, that's just a fact. I know that Dak hasn't looked good this year, but the money is spent in too many wrong places, and there's nothing they can do about it at this point.
Yeah. I actually feel worse for CD Lamb fantasy owners than I do for Dak.
Oh, you mean you just want to at me real quick, or what's up?
No, because well, you too, but one of my really good friends has one or drafted Lamb first, like not first overall, but first.
Oh, yeah, kind of like me. Well, not I guess not me. I took him in the second round technically, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's tough, man. It's I don't know, Lamb and Tyreek just having horrible years for where they were drafted.
yeah. Well, and Tyreek thing is the Tua injury, and it seems to be rebounding, and it's rebounding at the right time if that person was able to stay afloat. Like if you were
Yeah,
able to stay in the playoff hunt, the Tyreek thing's really going to pay off right now. Or if you're one of the guys who traded for him at the low hanging fruit area, um, that was a good idea. But the CD thing is spiraling, and it's spiraling at maybe the worst time ever.
yeah. I genuinely don't know what you can get for CeeDee Lamb right now, or what he's been like being traded for.
Yeah, I don't think he has any value.
Yeah,
Yeah, well,
probably not.
that's a great way to start it, man. I love that. The Dallas thing, it's so bad.
It is, but I like I said, I love it too. Like every week, just watching the just how bad it's gonna be for Dallas is so funny.
Yeah. Oh, well, I decided to my hate list and my addition to the hate list is a systemic problem that I think the NFL has right now. Um, and it comes from the Bears, and it's teams quitting or narrative shifting on rookie quarterbacks and young quarterbacks too quickly. Um, I think that there are a lot of things that go into this. Of course, it doesn't like the Bryce Young thing. It doesn't help Bryce Young that CJ Stroud is good. The Caleb Williams thing. It doesn't help Caleb Williams that Drake May and Jaden Daniels look good. But time after time, inept franchises draft people with talent and then destroy them and then blame everything on them, and these guys get destroyed in the media, and it's probably not all their fault. It's probably really not their fault. And we've been talking about this today. So before we did the pod, I decided to look into some things. Mainly because I think that it impacts these teams the most. But I looked into the Chicago Bears and their starting quarterbacks with like significant time since 2000. Shane Matthews, Josh McCown, Jason Campbell, Brian Griese, Chase Daniels, Nick Foles, Kyle Orton, Justin Fields, Mitchell Trubisky, Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler.
Elite.
It's so bad. It's
Yeah,
so
it's really
bad. But
bad.
then I started thinking, okay, so the Nick Foles thing, just a dumb franchise move. The Justin Fields thing, failure to develop a quarterback. Mitchell Trubisky, awful eye for talent. Jay Cutler, actually pretty decent.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Rex Grossman took him to a Super Bowl. Not bad. But when you look at the guys who were okay, Kyle Orton, okay under them. These guys all were okay when they had Lovie Smith. After Lovie Smith is when everything gets really weird. And it's because there's just inconsistency. And the franchise is in flux constantly because you're replacing your head coach, you're replacing your quarterback, you're replacing your GM, and you're going through the cycle over and over and over. And there's a team named the New York Jets who have a similar problem. Their list of notable starters is maybe a little bit too long to read off, but important people: Mark Sanchez, Zach Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Chad Pennington, um, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith. All of these guys played quarterback for the
Tannehill.
Jets. Ryan Tannehill was a
I
Dolphin.
think he did, right?
No, Dolphin.
Ah, who was I thinking of? Fitzpatrick.
Yep, Fitzpatrick. Oh well, Fitzmagic if you included him everywhere. Um, and they've never had a good head coach. I mean, Rex Ryan was the closest thing they had to a consistently stable head coach. And while he was there and as consistent as he was, they made two to AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
You know, the constant flux. I am not a Caleb Williams fan. I'm not a Caleb Williams defender. In fact, I think if you looked at the tweets from my burner account, you would find me tweeting like I hope he fails in the NFL. Part of me is very happy that he's not doing well. I'm a Utah fan. He wrote "fuck Utah" on his fingernails. I don't like the guy, but I do feel bad that the narrative is now shifted to like he's the problem. I don't know. And sorry, I just sounded off, so I'll let you chime in on this.
No, you're good, man. I was just letting you go with it because I mean I agree, and I feel like the Bears had such a good opportunity to just restart everything right when they drafted Caleb, and they were like, let's hold on to the head coach who's definitely not going to be the head coach next season. They hung on to their offensive coordinator who was just fired today. It's like now we're
Right.
going to have a new OC in the middle of the season, a new head coach to start next year. And it's just like you had the perfect opportunity to time everything up. And I'm sure there's some articles out there about great coaches that they've interviewed like over the off season and decided not to hire. I'm pretty sure Cliff Kingsbury was one of them. Which I don't know if he would have been like the answer, but at least you would have had something with Caleb.
No, right, right. And it's just so frustrating because I do believe Caleb Williams is talented. Actually, I know he is. I've seen him play live. He's the best quarterback I ever saw play live. And I saw Goff, I saw Darnold, all these guys in college, Josh Rosen, who, it's kind of a meme now, but I've seen a lot of these guys play live in college because I went to Utah. Um, and it's so disappointing to see. Well, I had season tickets to Utah. So disappointing to see how it's turned out. So, um, Caleb Williams is talent, and it's Chicago's fault. And I don't want to see people abandon him. I know he's played bad, but like, let's point every finger at in the correct direction before we point it back at Caleb, or let's get him out of there.
Yeah, I mean the guy was sacked 9 times on Sunday. Like
Right.
I don't know I don't know what you expect out of anybody when they're getting pressured like that. Like obviously it's gonna look better with the elite quarterbacks like Lamar. He'll can get out of anything, but like I'm not I don't know. It's
No,
it's
I
bad. I
mean,
also think the offensive line has been kind of revolving door this year. I think they have a bunch of injuries, right?
right. No, I mean it's a disaster. The O line's a disaster, and again, they have another pick in the first round right after they draft Caleb Williams. Instead of addressing the O line, draft Roma Dunze, and I get it. But if you're going to go and get Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and you already have Cole Kmet, and you've got DeAndre Swift, why are you drafting another offensive weapon? Why are you not taking a lineman there? I just, I don't know. The only quarterback that I've ever seen in the first 5 years of their career, not first 5 years, but in the first 3 years of their career, succeed with the amount of pressure that Caleb Williams gets is Joe Burrow. That's it. The only person I've seen who's able to have consistent success regardless of the pressure in their face. Joe Burrow got sacked, I think, 11 times or something like that, or 9 times in the Tennessee playoff game and still won. And that, like those kinds of things, they don't happen, and you can't build your model off of these guys who play at a different level. You have to
No,
you have to take
he's an outlier.
right. You have to take every rookie quarterback and group them together, regardless of where they're drafted, and say these person's skill sets are probably extremely limited. And if one of them outperforms, they're the outlier. If our guy is underperforming, that's the expectation. He's in his first year seeing NFL defenses. Um, and we need
Yeah,
to have an infrastructure around him to help him succeed, and not having an O line is not an infrastructure.
I still just don't get the like over investment into skill players because like
I don't understand it at
I mean
all.
guys can catch balls. Like you don't have to have these big names to like get production. Like
No.
Demarcus Robinson on the Rams, he's what does he have like 3 or 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks? You have like a perfect well,
Mm-hmm.
I mean the the obvious comparison is the Commanders where like Terry McLaurin is elite, but like Noah Brown, Alameda Zacchaeus. Like you can pick
Right.
guys up like that, and they can fill in while you're developing your QB. And it's I don't know, man. They're like he can't even get the ball out to DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, or a Dunze or a Matt, and then you have Swift, who's like he might be putting up like decent numbers, but I don't think he's impacting the offense that much. And you can
No.
pick a running back up. Like I mean, those guys are everywhere.
I mean, look at what the Niners did with Mason, right? Like, I
Or
don't think you should be able to
Garendo.
compare anybody to them, but like, no, there are running backs everywhere. There are kind of receivers everywhere. The
Yeah.
Steelers got Mike Williams for free, and I'm not saying that Mike Williams is elite, but he's going to contribute. They got George Pickens in the second round. You don't need to be wasting picks on skill positions when you don't have infrastructure. And the Bears have everything. The defense is good. They have, as we've mentioned, a group of weapons, but the O line is such Swiss cheese that it's never going to work. I mean, look at the difference it is for Saquon Barkley to be in Philadelphia than it was for him to be
Yeah,
in New York, and that's
yeah.
all O line.
Elite
It's
offensive
frustrating.
line.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I mean, Najee Harris has been so much better for the Steelers this year, mainly in part to they reinvested money in the offensive line. They invested picks the past 3 years. They've taken O linemen in the first round. The first two picks they took this year's draft, tackle, center.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. Like I don't know if it's because it's just not the sexy pick, but you know who didn't make the sexy pick this year? Harbaugh. He took an offensive lineman. And
Yeah,
Justin
he took
Herbert is
Joe
he's
Alt,
looking
right?
great this year. And he's throwing
Yeah.
to Quentin Johnston, Josh Palmer, Lad McConkey, and like I don't even know like who's even playing tight end for them.
It's a
You know,
great point, but I don't even know. Gerald
yeah,
Everett? I don't know.
and then they grab like J.K. Dobbins. Like they
Yeah,
didn't like
because it's not
throw the house
complicated.
at a running back. Yeah, I don't know. It's so obvious that some of these owners and management just like don't know how to build a football team, and they're just like, oh yeah, this guy made a lot of cool catches, so we'll take him. That's not
Well,
even
and
shade at Roma Dunze. He's a great player, but it wasn't a good pick for them this year.
and I think also just to build on the Roma Dunze point, I think if he's kind of anywhere else, he's probably doing better. But now what? You
Yeah,
see, you drafted Roma Dunze to be your WR3 in the first round. Who drafts their wide receiver 3 in the first round?
I don't know.
And nobody's talking about that. Everybody's like, well, it's bad coaching and it doesn't seem good. I'm like, yeah, well, you know what they did? They drafted their wide receiver 3 in the first round. That's what they did. That's like trading your first round pick for Calvin Austin.
Yeah, it's just like if you're not gonna use the guy that much, just like why are you drafting him?
Why? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And and
Or
and
better point, if you can't get the ball to him, why draft him? Bill
right,
Belichick said that earlier. He's like, why am I drafting a receiver if I can't even throw to him?
right, and like look at like, and why are you trading all these assets for receivers or signing these receivers to huge contracts? Like you sign DJ Moore to a huge contract, you sign um, Allen to a huge contract, and you don't have the infrastructure for success to have your quarterback throw the ball to them. Yeah, so stop quitting on quarterbacks early. All of these, a bunch of these guys that are on these lists of teams that ended up flailing out actually went on to have like decent careers that most people would be very happy with. And for some reason, everybody's just down. Everybody's just so quick to quit. Like Sam Darnold played for the Jets. They just get rid of him and he goes on to do all right. Geno Smith played good for the played for the Jets. Didn't play great. You know what he did? He ends up going to Seattle and having a decent career. I mean, it's baffling.
Yeah, it is weird how like Darnold went from the Jets and the Panthers, and then he's on the Niners for a year, and there's like kind of some praise for him. It's like, oh,
Right.
now he's under a good coach, so maybe he's actually good. And same thing with Baker, like bounces around from the Browns to the Panthers, and then he's on the Rams for a week, and McVay makes him look like he actually has him in a good offense, and people are like, oh, maybe Baker's kind of good.
Right. Right. I mean, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
Um, all right, well that's this week's hate list. I guess I do have one little basement tape. My dad didn't watch the second half of the Steeler game at all. Um, he quit after Russell Wilson threw the pick, went outside and did yard work, even though his back's jacked up. I told him that I wasn't going to help him as long as the Steelers were on. I then came outside to let him know the Steelers won, and then he proclaimed himself the MVP of the week for not watching.
Nice. Yeah.
So full delusion. Um, didn't get to enjoy watching the Steelers come back and win that game with my dad. Instead, I got to enjoy telling him that they won, which is awesome. Um, it's just so absurd. Uh,
Yeah, that's insane. Didn't even
yeah,
watch
no,
it.
dude, he quit almost instantly.
Did he
I mean,
walk out when it was
bastard.
24-14?
Um, well, he came back in because the Steelers scored. I was like, Dad, you got to come back in. Like, you got to watch. It's a one score game, and then they did something to
It didn't throw
upset
to
him.
Washington.
Oh, dude, the comment was made very quickly. Like, why don't they use him? Where is he? Um, he loves Darnell Washington, man. Um, no, I can't remember. Like something else triggered him that made him upset. They probably gained a first down, and he was like, "I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. I can't do it." And then Russell Wilson threw the pick, and he got up and stormed out.
Yeah, so he was done. He wanted Fields after that, probably.
Oh, he would never even say that. I can't watch this team anymore. It's ridiculous, and I can't handle it. That's what he said to me, and then he got up and left. We're seven and
Love
two.
it. Yeah, good football
Yeah,
team.
yeah, good football. We're 7 and 2. I don't know what he can't handle. Um, this week, week 11, which has some great games. Like really, I'm really excited for the slate. Um, there are four buys, and I think part of the reason I'm excited is a couple of the teams on the bye this week are just hard to watch. Carolina and New York being the hardest. Tampa's on a bye. Nobody needs it more than Tampa. It feels like right now, and Arizona's on a bye. Who it's kind of hot. I hope the bye doesn't take some steam off of them, but they're
You mean
playing
the
well. I
2 and
thought
0
it.
Panthers?
Hey, the 2-0 Panthers, who are also very hot right now, on their way back from Munich. Dude, I just love that we send two teams to Germany. And we're like, okay, well, we'll just send the worst thing that we possibly can package. And we
Yeah.
know you'll sell out the stadium anyway.
Yeah, they love Sweet Caroline over there. That's why they go to the football games.
Dude, I love when they sing Country Roads and they're blackout. My favorite part about this is the NFL mistakes that Germany like loves football because we send a team there once a year and all the fans get hammered and sing Country Roads. Like
Yeah.
we don't love German culture here, but we do Oktoberfest every year just so that we can like dress up goofy and have a beer with our friends. We don't like actually love beer and schnitzel. But Goodell will probably add three more games there in the future.
Yeah, why don't we just make it like maybe we should add an NFL Cup over there.
Dude, very European of us. We should. Let's do the NFL Cup. What we'll do is we'll just send the AFC and NFC South over there every year, and they can play for the
Yeah,
NFL Cup.
I was thinking we could send like the Titans, the Panthers, the Giants, and um maybe the Jets over there.
Definitely the Jaguars.
Yeah, true. Jaguars. Jaguars probably instead of Jets.
Jaguars are going to be playing in England soon, I think.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Sick. Nice, Roger Goodell. Um, but yeah, but because we have bad teams not playing this week, we have good teams playing each other, and that. Well, do you want to run the count? Do you have the score?
We are dead even. It's 146 to 146. You beat me by 2 this last week, and I got 2 back last night because I took the Dolphins. So we ended up
Uh,
we're dead even right now.
all right, let's go.
Yeah.
Um, well, the excitement starts Thursday. We're getting blessed. Back to back good Thursdays. Washington versus Philadelphia. We got the Eagles versus the Commanders. It's in Philadelphia. The Eagles are 3.5 point favorites. This line hasn't budged really since it opened yesterday. 48.5 on the over under. Washington Commanders coming off of a physical game with Pittsburgh. I thought that was probably Jaden Daniels' worst start as a quarterback, but he was playing the Steelers' defense, and they definitely had opportunities to win that game. Ends on kind of a questionable fourth down call for them offensively, and the Eagles are just red hot. I'm really happy that we praised them a couple weeks ago because they look good. What are you
Yeah.
feeling?
Division game on Thursday. Like this is awesome. I'm pretty against Thursday football, but like if you're gonna make us watch it, then give us good matchups like this.
Give
Like
me
last
division
week
ball.
was
Yeah.
yeah, Ravens Bengals last week, Commanders Eagles this week. I like the Eagles in this game. I think it's I just think it's too much for the Commanders
The
to come off a
Commanders.
short week against Pittsburgh.
Do you think they're going to cover the spread as well?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm really conflicted because I actually love the Commanders and I love watching them. And this is a real like. Let's find out what Jaden Daniels has in him. Is he that guy? Is he gonna be one of these guys that we talk about? Hasn't had a back-to-back loss in his career. Uh, Shows up in the biggest moments, or is he gonna lose an understandably losable game and the Commanders kind of fall back to the still above expectation, but to more around what maybe you would expect them to be, regardless of how good Jaden Daniels is. I don't think it would be an indictment on Jaden Daniels to lose this game. I think, look, he's a rookie quarterback. That being said, God, I'm going to bet on Jaden Daniels. I'm going to take the Commanders across the board, and I'm going to take the over with it.
Okay. I just gotta say one thing. If Jalen Warren can run against this team, then I think they should be scared for what Saquon and Jalen Hurts can do. But
No, it's a good point. I mean, I guess what I'm hedging here is that this is gonna be a shootout, and it's kind of my hope that we get a shootout. I know that it's rare for a Thursday night game, and the conventional wisdom would say not to do that, but we just had one. I want a big game, and I think if we get a big game and the Commanders can score with the Eagles, maybe it comes down to something late.
yeah, yeah, maybe. Don't they have a backup kicker right now?
They do, yeah,
Yeah.
but he was fine against the Steelers. Trust me, I had to hear the broadcasters every time he jogged out there, like,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, here comes the rookie kicker."
Here comes
Or not
Zane
rookie kicker. Here
McDonald.
comes, yeah, no, here comes this guy's kicked in the league for a while, but they're like, he's coming out. He could miss this one. It's beyond 40 yards. And just drills it straight through the middle. I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks for giving
And
me
they're
that
like,
hope.
actually, it's okay. He was selling bricks in Texas with Jake Bates.
Yeah,
This
no,
guy is
exactly.
actually an insane kicker.
This guy's actually really good. Nobody can figure out why there are teams that have kickers that miss.
Yeah, I
Um,
gotta say also, like, both my fantasy quarterbacks playing on a Thursday night doesn't make me feel that good, but we'll
oh,
see.
I hate that. I have a weird fantasy philosophy that if I have like the last guy playing, it's better vibes. Doesn't pan out hardly ever, but no, I get you.
I I do want to say one thing about the Commanders. I think they could have beat Pittsburgh if they let Jaden Daniels run, but they're so
I
scared
think
of
so
him getting
too.
hurt right now that they're kind of limiting him offensively. And they're definitely going to turn it up at some point in the season. I don't know if it's going to be like, hey, we have to win, so like go for it now. But
Right.
I don't really like not having him run at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to blame them. The RG3 thing didn't happen too long ago, and that was a rookie year. That was really exciting.
Yeah.
And if I were a Commanders fan, I'd be horrified too. But I do understand what you're saying, and I do think that it's a valid point, right? Um,
There is something about like he needs to learn how to run in the NFL too, and he's not going to learn how unless you let him.
Right.
But like I said, I don't want him like running wild like he was the first 2 or 3 weeks. But I mean,
No, but
you gotta run some stuff for him. Maybe it's like goal line stuff. But like you
uh,
gotta you gotta
yeah,
let
I
him
mean,
feel like I'm running for touchdowns because he's gonna have to make some plays in the playoffs on his feet.
right. Let him take opportunities and learn when to and not to take them. It's a good point. Yeah. It's for it was a little bit weird. I was very grateful that he wasn't running around out there. But I think
Yeah,
they'll unlock him as time goes on.
I do too. I'm really targeting this rematch in I think it's week 15 they play each other again.
Yeah.
And I think the Commanders are gonna, unless they win on Thursday, which they very well could, but also that does make Week 15 still important because it's a division game with 3 weeks left in the season. So
Yep.
should be a fun one though. I'm really excited. Really glad to have a good Thursday game.
Yeah, I can't wait. Next game, another division game. Not as exciting, but there's some elements of excitement. Packers Bears, in my opinion, the most fraudulent hatred rivalry in football. It can't be a rivalry. The Bears have been owned by the Packers for so long. Like I don't know how you call this a rivalry. Um, Packers are 5.5 point favorites in Chicago. The over/under is 40.5. I don't know if Jordan Love's playing. I assume that he's going to coming off the bye week, but uh, I don't really think it matters. I think the Packers are going to walk through the Bears. This Bears team is like completely quit. You can't throw the new coach theory at the new offensive coordinator theory. This isn't. The situation is still bad, and the problem is still there. And for that reason, I'm all Packers.
I honestly don't know if Jordan Love's going to play in this because I think they can win this game with Malik Willis.
Yes, yeah, that's how I feel.
Um, Yeah, did we talk about the report that came out that the players were asking to have Caleb benched before this?
No, really?
Yeah, it could be bullshit, but I saw that they were asking for Tyson Bagent before they fired the OC, and that's when Eberflus came out and said Caleb's our starter. So I don't know. It's bad vibes in Chicago. I also think that's a horrible, horrible thing to say about your rookie QB if you're his teammate. But dysfunction starts at the
Dang.
top, and it's bleeding into the team pretty badly.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know the context of those conversations. We don't know if they happened.
Right.
Spin zone, maybe they're looking out for Caleb. Like, hey, don't ruin this guy's
Yeah,
career by
maybe.
keep putting him
Yeah,
out
true.
there. Um, I just have a hard time believing that an NFL team would come together and be like, we don't want him to play. He doesn't give us a chance to win. I'm sure it would be something more along the lines of you're stunting his
Hey, this
development to a point that
this
you
guy
should be
got
playing
sacked
Tyson
nine
Bagent.
times. Maybe
Yeah,
we
like,
should let him have a break.
give him a
Yeah,
break, man.
maybe. Maybe. Still weird though.
Your Packers across the board, I take it.
Yeah, I don't want
Yeah,
to. I'm not doing the over under though because the Bears
no, me
defense is
neither.
still good. So even if
That's
they
still a
quit, they're
thing,
still good.
right? And Malik Willis.
Yeah,
Um, all right, next is the biggest spread we've seen all year. This is the biggest spread we've seen all year. It's Jaguars Lions, 13.5 for the Lions. It's in Detroit. The over-under is 47.5. Jacksonville is so unbelievably pathetic. I don't know how Doug Peterson has a job. I don't know if they're just going to keep him as coach so that they can keep losing. Because at this point, it's about draft picks for them. They had 3 red zone interceptions against you guys, against the Vikings. and still lost and, like, didn't just lose, but were incapable of putting up points. They're pathetic. On the flip side, the Lions had 5 interceptions thrown by their quarterback and 1. Um, if you wanna spell out 2 teams that are moving in complete opposite directions, there is no better picture than this right here. Hard not to take the Lions on 13.5, and I'm going to.
Yeah, I am as well. I'm not gonna have this game on at all.
No, it's dog shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be Khalif Raymond round 2. Probably a Tim Patrick touchdown. Maybe a Dan Skipper touchdown. Panay Sewell throws it to him. I don't know. They're gonna be doing some weird shit in this game, I think.
Yeah, this could that or they're gonna score 2 touchdowns, go up 14, and then just hand the ball off to David Montgomery like 100 times and let him have just the day of his life and rest the rest of these guys.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I can't put my points in the hands of Mac Jones though. Also, Trevor Lawrence might be done for the season.
I would bench him.
Oh, like he's hurt.
No, I know, but, like, even if it's questionable whether he could come back, why?
Yeah, true. Well, I
Why?
mean, you should probably get some reps for Brian Thomas since you drafted him, but
No. I don't that's an investment in the future to
yeah,
keep
side
really.
note, Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence are dead. Two of our uh, most frequent hate list players.
Yeah.
So if you want your quarterback to die, just come talk to us and we can start hating him.
Yeah, we'll put him on the hate list.
Should
No
be
problem.
should be able to get him out of here in 5 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it's probably, like, extremely bad karma for us that we just talk a bunch of shit on these dudes and then their season ends up going away because of injury, but
Yeah, it already hit me. I already lost Darisaw, so it's
you wanna know what sucks, dude?
Hmm.
We bitch about the Chiefs every week, but you know who's still playing?
The Chiefs.
Patrick, Chiefs. Maybe should we add Patrick Mahomes to hate list?
Nah, that's just that I don't even want to say his name. He's like Voldemort.
He is Voldemort, dude.
Like I don't want to think about his name. I can talk about the Chiefs, but can't talk about 15.
Yeah, he's the Miz, dude.
He's the worst. I do want to say that I think the Jacksonville defense isn't that bad because they
No.
made a second half comeback against the Eagles and then they, you know, held my team to 12 points. So maybe they're maybe they're not that bad, but they're also just they have nothing to lose at this point, which kind of makes them not scary, but
Dangerous.
you never want to like play against teams that are just like, yeah, it doesn't matter for us. We're just gonna throw everything out here every week and try to
Right.
ruin your season. So
They have it's a good point. They have a good defense. They're backed against the wall every week. Yeah. The guys that are playing at this point are guys who have been written off and are getting maybe their last chance to be NFL guys. So, um,
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I, I still think Lions all the way. So,
yeah, I think Khalif Raymond can handle this himself
yeah,
probably. JMO definitely
this
gonna
will be
dunk
all
it
right.
a couple times.
Next game. Oh God. Uh, Raiders Dolphins. Forgot about the Raiders. It was kind of nice. Didn't have to think about them. Now I do again, and it's miserable. They didn't do anything at the trade deadline, which makes no sense to me. How you're not doing something at the trade deadline doesn't make any sense. Dolphins, on the
They
other
got
hand,
Desmond Ritter.
oh, that's right. Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah, that was their
Um,
trade deadline move. They didn't have to make a trade for it. They just picked them up, but they got him before anybody else did.
oh, Tasman, baby. Dolphins, on the other hand, look like a team that we haven't seen them look like in weeks, and it sucks because it's probably too late and the damage has already been done. But that's a playoff team. The team I saw on Monday night's a playoff team. They're
Yeah,
seven and a
their
half point
defense
favorites.
looked
The over under is 44 and a half.
their defense looked really good last night.
Yeah,
And it was
really good.
against Matt Stafford. So that's all like it was definitely not a fluke.
No. And it's crazy. I mean, it is so crazy to me, to a difference. And
Yeah.
Tua gets a lot of heat. At the end of the day, he's a good quarterback. And you know he's good. You want to know how we know he's good? Because this Dolphins team is different when he plays. Period. But
Yeah,
he
I
made
really
throws.
wish they would have won a couple more games. Like even just
Yeah, like the
one more.
Titans loss is such a killer.
Yeah. Because they definitely should be like in the hunt for the playoffs, which I guess they kind of are. They have to run the table, but
Right.
it's possible. This team is really talented, and it might be even
Really talented.
scarier having them like at this record and playing them late in the season because they can do some real trickery on that team
Mm-hmm.
and kind of make you look stupid. I'm gonna be betting on the Dolphins like every week. I think because I think you're gonna get
Yes.
pretty good value out of them, especially when they're playing like I think they play the Niners pretty soon, which I think is a winnable game for them. There's a couple other teams I forgot their schedule, but all their games are winnable, so I think they're going to be fun to watch. Maybe not against the Raiders, but everyone else.
How do you feel about the 7.5? Not against the Raiders. Cheeky bastard.
The Raiders are the kings of covering this big lines, I swear,
I
but
was
I'm not
gonna
I'm
say.
not falling. I gotta stay consistent. I haven't picked them to cover once this year. I'm not going to.
Yeah, on that note, I'm gonna follow you on that. I don't think the Raiders are gonna cover here. I know that.
They just don't have anything to play for now. Like earlier in the season when they were, I mean, they always are Max Crosby, and I'm sure there's more people on the team that hate Patrick Mahomes. Thank you. I also hate Patrick Mahomes too. It seems like they always like they play weird games against the Chiefs, but I don't know if they play good against anybody else.
Agreed. No, I mean, I think they only play for division games at this point. And if it's in the division, maybe take them to cover, and anything
Yeah.
else, just watch them get rolled.
Yeah, can't wait for the backdoor Gardner Minshew to uh, Alexander Madison
Yeah,
screenplay that screws this
yeah,
whole thing up.
right, right. Got the lead from 28 to 20 to 27 to 20, and or
Yeah.
not 28 to 20, like 38 to 20 to 27 and 20, and totally screw everything up.
Yeah,
Um,
you just know they're gonna mess up the over under and the spread, but
there's nothing you can
I
do
can't
about
take
that.
it.
Next game is Pats Rams, and the Rams. It's so weird because if you asked me 2 weeks ago, I'm saying, look, they're competing for the division. You asked me after last night, I'm saying, man, what a bummer. Just a season that's kind of plagued with these injuries and weird games. And when they showed, but when they didn't, it just looked really bad. And last night, it just looked really weird from what I could tell. I had to watch sort of accelerated game tape because I couldn't watch the game live. Um, the Pats, on the other hand, they're playing with like they got nothing to lose every week, kind of like you were talking about. There's real excitement behind the Drake May thing. I'm not saying there isn't excitement in the Rams. It just feels like the end of an era there. It's in New England. The Rams are 4.5 point favorites, and the over under is 44.5. How do you feel about this?
I think the Rams are gonna be good the rest of the year. They're actually 2-1 in the division too, so they're right
Still in
there.
it. Okay.
Yeah, they're ahead of the 49ers, they're ahead of the Seahawks, they're a half game behind the Cardinals. Like they can still get into the playoffs, and I'm not writing them off yet. Um, I don't know what happened. Like I guess the Dolphins defense was just good, but this is also a team you really don't want to play when they have nothing to lose. Not that they don't have nothing to lose right now, but like they're 4-5, so they're going to be playing kind of risky, and I just
Mhm.
don't think you want to see this offense any week for the rest of the season. I'm going to take them to cover. I actually think 4.5 is pretty low for them. Um, I don't know if
Yeah,
it's
there's
because of
definitely some
last
Patriots
night.
hype.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's because last night they only put up 15. Like I would say 7 out of 10 times that's probably closer to like 28 points instead of 15.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take them to win. I'm taking them to cover too.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams to win. I think they're going to win this game. I've gone back and forth on the cover, not cover thing. The Patriots, for all intents and purposes, really beat up on the Bears. That being said, the Bears are the worst coach team in football, and Sean McVay is coaching. So this is a Super Bowl rematch. Let's not forget that, although both teams look very different. I'm going to take the Rams to cover, and I don't do it very confidently, honestly. There is something going on in New England that isn't terrible, but yeah, it's too big of an ask. And you're right, the 4.5 feels a little bit low. I guess it is a road game, but Patriot ship is coming crashing to earth. The Patriots did lose to the Titans. I mean, that's an important thing to remember.
Yeah, like I think they'll. I don't know if they're gonna try to win games either.
Right.
Like I think this Bears matchup was kind of like a
It was
yeah,
unavoidable.
our rookie quarterback's actually better than yours kind of thing.
Right.
Um, but I don't really see them winning a ton more games this year.
That's fair.
I am excited. I think Drake May is pretty good though, so
Yeah, they're
I've
watchable
enjoyed
every week
watching him.
now.
Yeah,
It's a huge difference. They're watchable every week, and it's not that game is not as bad as it could have been. So talk about a game that's about as bad as it could be, although it is a revenge game. Brown Saints. Thank you for talking me out of my new coach theory last week. You know, you essentially
yeah,
bullied me into submission on the new coach theory, and I'm never gonna let
yeah.
you
It's
do that
my
again.
bad. My bad.
It's all good. Um, Jameis Winston coming
Dude,
into
Young Ho missed a kick. Okay,
yeah, he missed a
my
few.
goat doesn't do that often, right?
Still had a bad day in
He's
the office.
nails. He's got a leg, man. So that definitely weird game. Also, like,
Super weird.
did you even know that Valdez Scantling played on the Saints? He was on the Bills to start the year. I didn't even know he was on the team until he caught the
I
first
didn't know he was
touchdown.
in the NFL.
Yeah, well, he had 3 catches for 102 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, that was dumb. That legitimately will never happen again, and
No,
it's over. Like Saints fans, enjoy what happened last week. You beat a division rival. That's actually a real fun rivalry that they have going on there. Those two teams do not like each other. They play each other incredibly physically. Um, and it's kind of like the same thing with the Bucks and the Saints, and there's fun in that division for how shit they are. They actually have fun playing each other. Um, enjoy it. You beat your division rival. Guess what? I don't care that you're 1.5 point favorites. The over under, by the way, is 45.5 or 44.5. Jameis Winston's coming in, and it's revenge Jameis.
yes, sir.
And the Browns have a better coach. They have a better defense. They have an equal quarterback, if not a better quarterback than Derek Carr. They have better running backs. Well, maybe not running backs actually, Kamara, but
No,
they're just a
definitely
better
not.
team.
Yeah.
Um, I'm going to take the Browns to cover and win. I won't touch the over under because God knows what's going to happen with these two teams. The Saints, enjoy what happened last week. It's over. It's done. I'm proclaiming it now. The new coach isn't saving you. This isn't a new team that's woken up. I think you know it. We all know it. You had the new coach theory thing work for you.
Yeah, it's gonna be funny when they put up 47 points and they're like, oh, maybe the Saints are good again. And
Oh,
then they
what? And I
suck
have to
for the
listen to
rest of the
Bill
year.
Simmons call him the fastest show on turf again?
Yeah, what? Well, I got something for Bill Simmons coming up here.
We're not far from it. I take it you're taking the Browns too.
Oh yeah, sorry, Browns plus 1.5 too. I hope Jameis tears them up. It's gonna be great. It's in New Orleans too. Jameis has a lot of Jameis has motion in New Orleans.
Got moticity, bro.
Yeah, this actually might be watchable, to be honest.
Oh,
I might
anything
click
Jameis
on
is
it a
playing
little
in is
bit.
watchable.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Highlight of the morning games. I'm not saying this because I'm biased. I'm saying this because it's the truth. Biggest test of my Steelers season. The A division rival that is just. I hate the Ravens. The Ravens hate the Steelers. This is an awesome game. I love it, but there's respect behind the hate. Ravens Steelers in Pittsburgh. The Ravens are 3-point favorites. The over under is 48.5. The Ravens beat the Bengals. They're on the mini bye. They got the 10 days of rest. The Steelers coming off of a hard fought win against the Commanders. Mike Tomlin, home dog. If you think I'm taking anything but the Steelers, you're crazy. Uh, and I'm not touching the over under, but I'm taking Steelers all the way.
So you're not touching the over under after Commanders Steelers just had 56 points in it.
No, because I don't know. This game could get real physical and ugly too.
Oh, it'll definitely be ugly.
And part of me thinks that means that like this game will be a 20-10 game or like a 17-10 game, and all the excitement's around the offense and then there's no offense.
What was the record last year with these two teams? Was it 1-1?
Steelers 2-0.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Normally, I like your spot as underdogs at home, but this is a different season for my goat.
All
I got the
right.
Ravens. I think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna dominate this game, but I could see them winning by a touchdown. I think.
Yeah, well, okay, one thing that does scare me. I know that I just sounded incredibly confident for the Steelers. That is not the type of fan I am. I'm painfully aware of our weaknesses, and one of the Steelers' weaknesses all year has been the running game. Eckler kind of had his way with the Steelers a little bit on Sunday. Jonathan Taylor had his way with the Steelers a little bit. We made Rico Dowdle look good for a game. It can get bad for the Steelers with the running game, and I don't have to tell you who the running back for the Ravens is or the quarterback for the Ravens is and how bad it could get quick if we can't stop the run. So it needs to be addressed this week. We need to make those adjustments, and I have faith that we will. But man, we also Alex Highsmith probably isn't going to play. We did get Preston Smith. I like him a lot. Still sketchy. Preston Smith is better on the run. So, but yeah, it could get ugly, but it does feel like maybe touchdown game either way.
This is the game of the day for me, and I know it's in the afternoon slate, but there's nothing I want to watch more than this game.
Yeah, I can't wait.
This is just maybe the best rivalry in the NFL.
I would argue it is. I'm super
Yeah,
biased, but I would argue it is.
it's in Pittsburgh too.
In Pittsburgh.
Oh, dude, I can already see some stupid Ravens player getting a terrible towel. Probably Deontay Johnson, to be honest.
This is a double renegade game, dude.
This game's gonna be fun.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Where are you guys
I wish we
at?
had Chris Collinsworth on the call. Hey, this is a game for these two
Oh,
teams.
you guys haven't played a division game yet.
No, this is our first division game. This is a big game for the Steelers. If we win this, we go up 2 games in the division. We really and really, I don't expect the Steelers to win the division. If you put a gun to my head, I'd say that we don't win the division. But all we need to do is win 4 more games to guarantee a playoff spot.
Yeah, so let's see.
One here would be awesome.
Falcons, Broncos, Chargers, Colts, Cowboys, Raiders, Jets, Giants, Commanders. You guys should be very well prepped to go into the division.
Any rust should be kicked off. Any rust.
Yeah.
I did like how we responded last week, being down 10 to the Commanders, who are a good team
Yeah,
on the
oh,
road.
I have like a side note on Mike Williams. I think he's gonna be a really good fit just
I do
because
too.
he's not going to a team that like necessarily needs him. Like he's showing up to Pittsburgh and it's like, hey, this is what the team is. We're
Right.
gonna, but it's not like when he went to the Chargers or the Jets and they're like, it's kind of more like a save our franchise situation.
For sure.
Like the Chargers suck and the Jets suck. The Chargers don't suck now, but they did suck, and the Jets suck. And I feel like he's just gonna, he's just gonna play ball now, and I think it's gonna be a good fit for him.
Yeah, and Mike Williams is one dimensional and he's really good at that dimension, but he's a deep threat. And one thing that infuriated my dad this last week, and it started to frustrate me too. Russell Wilson threw like 4 deep balls on third down to Calvin Austin that are 5'10" or are sub 5'10" receivers not catching these. And if it's Mike Williams, it makes a lot more sense. And he played 8 snaps for the Steelers, and one of them was a touchdown. But if we can integrate him into that role that Calvin Austin was in this week for sort of the long, deep threat on these third downs, I think it's going to work out really well. And we're not going to ask him to do too much. We're not going to ask him to do, things in positions that he's not used to playing. He's there to do one thing. And that's, be the deep threat for Russell Wilson that is on the opposite side of George Pickens.
Yeah, I got another side note. I love George Pickens.
Dude, I love him.
I'm such a
Oh, he's
huge
so
fan. Like
funny.
he's just been doing the funniest shit all year, and I honestly think he has like his potential is like really really high because he catches some of the craziest shit I've ever seen.
He's really good. He's really fun to cheer for.
Yeah, I bet. I love watching him. I'm always cheering for him too.
Yeah, uh, I'm always a fan of who the Steelers take at receiver. George Pickens is a long line of guys the Steelers have managed to get late at receiver that end up being good. Um, and I'm all here for it. And he's personality, and this team needs a little bit of personality. So I can't wait for this game. I know you can't wait. Go Steelers. I respect the shit out of the Ravens. I lived in Baltimore for a while. Shout out to all my friends out there. Shale, who actually listens to the podcast every week. Thank you, Shale. But go Steelers, fuck the Ravens.
Yo, come on, man.
What's
No,
up?
it's not fuck the Ravens. Come on.
No, it's gotta be, dude. I can't
You
stand
gotta
that team.
like the Ravens from just a football perspective. Like they're
But
so
dude,
fun to
I
watch.
respect the Ravens. They are so fun to watch. This week I hate them. I hate every.
Dude, Mike Tomlin was calling he called Lamar Mr. Jackson.
That's so funny, actually. That is
That's
so
how
classic
much
Mike
respect
Tomlin.
he has.
That's
He also
classic Mike
said
Tomlin.
somebody asked him about Deontay Johnson, and he said, "We've got bigger things to worry about." So,
Oh, my favorite quote from this week is, "They're hot. We just want to play fireman."
yeah, he's He's such a
Like,
good coach, dude.
dude, he's the best. Dude, I'd love to like get drunk and sit next to Mike Tomlin and just have him talk me into confusion.
Yeah, you know what else I want to see? I want to see George Pickens. Well, not I don't want to see it because I love him on the Steelers, but if I could go back in time and watch an alternate reality where George Pickens doesn't go to the Steelers and he goes to a different team, I want to see all the crazy shit that he would do because he already does crazy shit on this team, and I feel like he'd
He'd
be
be out of the league, Jalen.
insane.
He'd be out of the league.
He's got like he's got like the angel and devil on his shoulder, and he's just always like the devil's. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
I'll just
let's
never
just rip
forget
this
that.
guy's face off.
I'll never forget when AB left the Steelers and 3 weeks later he had cryogenically frozen his feet to the third degree and couldn't
Yeah,
play all preseason for the Raiders. I don't think George Pickens is as crazy as AB, but you could easily see him, going to the Jets and, you know, showing up to practice on, in a hot air balloon or something absurd like that. And then, you know, pulling a gun in a nightclub that isn't a real gun, uh,
it's like an
and being
airsoft
arrested.
gun.
Yeah, yeah, it's got an orange tip on it, but it's just janky enough to get him in trouble.
I could definitely see him walking off the field in a different place if his quarterback was bad enough, like AB did.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, AB did that to Tom Brady though.
That's true. Yeah, that's
Oh,
insane. Still,
that's yeah. Wild fact about AB quitting in the middle of the game. He quit on Tom Brady.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm happy for George Pickens though. I love seeing Russ just dial up that moon ball and seeing Pickens down there. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get this. He gets it like
he
every
had a
time.
great touchdown. He had a great touchdown too. He
Dude, he
changed
might have
direction
a
midair.
week against this defense.
Yeah, that's a fact. It could get fun.
Ah, it's gonna be fun.
Oh, I'm so excited. So excited. All right, well, I'll let you intro the next game.
Yeah, Vikings Titans in Tennessee. Vikings are 5.5 point favorites. Over under 40.5.
All right.
Um, I think the over under should be 19.5 after watching our offense last week. Um, no, I'm just kidding. That game is being so blown out of proportion, I swear.
Dude, it happens. Okay.
I'm just like, okay, yeah, it was a bad game and they still won. That's a good sign if you can win games. Like our defense played really good. I know it was Mac Jones, but like you play who you play, man. And we won the
Hey,
game. Move on to the
and you know
next
what?
week.
There's still NFL athletes, by the way. Just so you know, the guys on
Yeah,
Jacksonville might not be the cream of the crop. They're still really, really good. And his defense held him to a touchdown, you know.
yeah. I don't know. Sometimes you have those weeks. Like we saw. I'm not saying Sam Darnold is Matt Stafford, but Matt Stafford did. Like the Rams did score a touchdown either last night. Like it happens. It's a weird game, but I'm happy
Dude,
they.
Jared Goff threw 5 picks.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. And he had thrown four in what the first 9 weeks combined.
Yeah, he threw more picks in a night than he threw all last year.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It
It
happens, and
happens.
people forget that it's hard to win in this league, no matter who you're playing. Like even if the team suck, because one thing about the NFL, and I love this about the NFL, these teams with these like 2-7 records, they still try to win every week. Nobody's like, oh yeah, let's pack it in. This season's probably over, which is exactly what happens in the middle of the NBA season. Honestly, earlier for some teams. And I love the mentality of the bad teams in the NFL, and there's quite a few of them this year, but they still go out every week and try to win. So I don't know why we're dumping on the Vikings for winning this game. Also, I don't know if Sam Darnold just like raised the expectations so high earlier in the year, but like I don't, I think people need to remember that he's still Sam Darnold. He's gonna have
They
games like this.
they also need to remember that when they ruled your starting quarterback out, it was, well, are we going to have the first pick in the draft?
Yeah, dude, and we're 7-2.
Right.
And I'm not like
And
I'm
you're
so
playing the
far from
Titans, you're
like
probably going to win. You're probably making the playoffs.
I would think so. I mean, I think we can probably get to 10 wins, which probably gets in. The division is over. That was over a few weeks ago, but um, yeah, I'm gonna take the Vikings and
Yeah, I'm right
fuck
there with
Bill
you.
Simmons for putting them on upset watch.
No, not even close.
How's it?
This Vikings team is going to steamroll the Titans.
It's just insane. 5.5.
Brian
No,
Flores versus Will Levis.
yeah, dude. I don't know. It's not like what is Calvin Ridley gonna light me up or something? Like I don't
No.
know. It's just weird. Like the switch up on the Vikings has been weird, and we talked about this before we started, but I feel like it's gonna happen to your team too.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the Steelers' schedule is so brutal. We could drop two of the next three or three of the next four, even really, and the narrative would be so bad.
Yeah, like you guys are Super Bowl contenders now that you beat the Commanders, which like I think the Steelers are a really good team. Do I think they're Super Bowl contenders? Probably not.
No,
You never
no.
know what can happen, but like they just built you up all the way to the top. And once you lose a game, and it might be on Sunday, they're gonna tear you right back down, just like this, and they're gonna say that Ross sucks, and it's probably gonna be like the same thing that I'm going through, because everybody they're doing the same thing to Russ that they did for Darnold earlier. They're like, wow, Russ
Yeah,
is
dude.
so good. Look at what he does for this offense, and then it was, oh, Darnold's so good now. Look what he's doing. I don't know.
Well,
I'm so sick of
the
the
worst part
media.
about losing games after high expectations is you got to wake up to freaking Nick Wright and Stephen A. Smith talking about your team. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
I watch more than you. It feels like.
Yeah, dude, sorry we
Um,
lost to the Lions on a field goal.
yeah.
Like, sorry we lost to the Rams on a Thursday night after a top four left tackle in the entire NFL got hurt and we had to put David Quesenberry in and a missed face mask. Like, sorry it happens, dude. Sorry we're 7-2.
Yeah, and for the Steelers, it's like if we lose to the Ravens, sorry we lost to the Ravens.
Yeah, sorry I lost to probably the back-to-back-to-back MVP. If they win the
Right.
division, I think Lamar probably gets the MVP.
Yeah.
And Derrick Henry. I don't know. There's no. It's all just. I don't know why I even get triggered by it still, because it's just how media is. There just has to be stories. I think I'm bothered by the Bill Simmons thing because he's usually pretty objective on stuff, and I sit here and I listen to him suck off Bo Nix every week, but then he's like hypercritical of Sam Darnold. But then like Darnold and Jordan Love have the same amount of picks this year, but I don't hear anything about Jordan Love being reckless with the ball or seeing ghosts. Like, just be consistent at least, right?
No, I get what you're saying. I mean, I love Bill Simmons, and I think he's great, and he's obviously like a basketball guy who talks about football. Um, Part of me thinks that sometimes he doesn't. It's impossible to watch every game with a keen eye, but
Yeah.
for him, I don't think that the Vikings game is, on the
High
big
on his
screen to
list.
watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Probably not. He
especially if
probably
you're
just,
playing.
yeah, he probably looked at the box score and was like, oh, Darnold sucked today. I guess I could
And
talk about
then
that, right?
he's like, I guess I'll spin up a narrative that Darnold is, I'll put these guys, and he's gambled for a long time. I don't know. I'm with you. It's bullshit and it's bad, but uh, I wouldn't read too much into it, too. This is a guy
No,
who talked the NBA in-season tournament being a good idea. Um,
he's probably got a podcast about it out tomorrow.
oh, 100%, like 100%. All right, Jets Colts. This game, okay. Jets are favored by 3.5, and the over/under is 43.5. And I can't for the life of me figure out how the Jets are favored in anything. I mean anything. Uh, they're miserable to watch. They're a terrible team, and I'm taking the Colts. And I'm not moving off of like this Jets thing. I think this is free money.
Okay, well, I have to share that I now have stock in the Jets, so my entire perspective on them has changed.
Garrett Wilson.
um, I just listened to Rogers on Pat McAfee today. He said
Mm-hmm.
that the last 3 weeks of practice have been their best weeks of practice. So
Oh wow.
I don't know why you'd pick the Colts in this game.
Oh dude, now that I know about that,
Yeah, yeah. See, you want to switch your pick?
no, I'm good, man.
No,
I think he needs to make
I
another
think
appearance
it,
on McAfee for me to change my mind.
dude, it's Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. It's going to be happening the whole rest of the year, probably through the playoffs too. Um,
Oh,
I
you
do
mean that he'll be
think,
watching from his couch?
yeah, dude, it's okay. He's gonna target Garrett Wilson a bunch for the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's usually how
Um,
it goes.
yeah, I do think so. I think the Colts are kind of a mess right now. Like the last 2 weeks have been really, really weird. It seems like Flacco has regressed once he was named the starter.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm pretty torn on this because I still think the Jets are going to win a couple more games. I don't know if I like them 3.5 though. I'm gonna take the Jets and I'm gonna take the Colts to cover.
Okay. Yeah, part of my justification for the Colts take is this is it. Um, you've
Yeah.
lost three straight. You've lost. It's looked ugly. The Flacco thing doesn't look like it's working right now. This is kitchen sink material. You're not out of the playoff hunt. You've got. You have to win this game. You have the Lions on the schedule next, and then after that, you have Patriots, Broncos, Titans, Giants, Jaguars, and if you include the Jets in there, you know that's that's 5, 6 wins. That puts you at 10 wins, and you got to feel like this is a game that you have to win. And if you win this game, your playoff hopes stay alive. And so for me, it's kitchen sink material. The Jets are completely out of it. They were so bad this week.
No, that's not what I heard on McAfee today.
Oh shit, I forgot about McAfee.
Yeah, they're not. They
Dude, the 3 weeks of
uh
practice too. They usually what's the
Aaron Rodgers said they're not mathematically eliminated yet, and anything could
oh
happen. So yeah, you can still
oh
change your pick if you want.
yeah, what was that book, Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point? Have they done their 3 weeks is 10,000 hours of practice? They should be there.
Yeah, I think they're there. They got Devonte Adams, dude. They haven't unlocked him yet.
Uh,
Remember when they won that Super Bowl in Green Bay like 10 years ago?
you mean that Devontae didn't even play in?
Oh, yeah. Well, whatever. He was there in spirit.
Yeah, dude, well, they're boys, and guys are together playing catch. Yeah, no, dude,
Yeah.
I'm so far out on the Jets that I can't do anything about it. You could
I
you
don't
could
know
tell
if you're
me.
gonna I don't know if you're gonna be able to quit the Jets for the rest of the year because I think Vegas is gonna make it really weird for them. I don't know if they're gonna
Yeah,
make
you're
the
probably right.
playoffs, but they're gonna some weird stuff's gonna happen. And I think this actually was the Sunday night game and they flexed it out.
Thank you, God, because the Sunday night game is pretty
Thank you.
good too.
Oh, it's great.
All right. Falcons Broncos. Falcons, we talked about it earlier. Really weird loss. Felt like just one of those weird games, division games. Broncos with a heartbreaking loss. Heartbreaking loss to the Chiefs. They gave that everything they had. The Broncos are 2.5 point favorites. It's in Denver, and it's a 44.5 point spread. I think this is a Falcons win. I think they cover. Um, if you're the Broncos, you're coming off a really emotional and brutal loss. Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback, almost takes down Patrick Mahomes, and the Falcons are pissed, and they're going to want to win this game. So that's my take.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm a big Falcons guy, and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. The Broncos are weird though. Like I could definitely see them winning this game somehow. Like, they're just a weird, scrappy team, but I mean, I think people are overrating them just a little bit.
Just a touch. I'm with you.
Oh
Again,
yeah, go
I'm with
Falcons.
you on multiple fronts there. But yeah, go Falcons. Next, we've got Seahawks Niners. This is a great game. Um, did the Seahawks get the best of them earlier in the year, or was that one of those weird Niners wins?
Now the Niners killed them.
Yeah, that's right. The Niners did kill them, and that was back when the Seahawks were like maybe competitive. Seahawks had a bye last week, and whenever a team has a bye, I habit completely forget about what state they were in before it. But they've got a new coach. The Geno thing doesn't seem to be working great this year. I'm not saying that it's not going to work out next year or anything like that. The DK injury seems to have hurt them a little bit more than people anticipated. The Niners are picking up steam, and this is everything kind of from here on out for the Niners feels must win ish. And a division game right now goes a long ways for them. I don't see them dropping this. Uh, it's 6.5 points for the Niners, and the over under is set at 49.5. I'm just going to take the Niners to win and Niners to cover. Or actually, I'm going to take the Niners win and Seahawks to cover.
Yeah, so the 49ers, I just have to say, I am so happy. I feel like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders that I don't have to check this injury report 90 minutes before kickoff every week. I'm so happy. I do not care if Debo scores 5 touchdowns a game for the rest of the year. For my mental, I am so happy I don't have to even think about this team for the rest of the year from a fantasy perspective. Christian McCaffrey's back. Pearsall is like really good, I guess. George Kittle is in like the best tight end fantasy option for the last what 7 weeks,
3 4
I think.
weeks. Yeah.
He's just been
Feels
a
right.
monster. Um, yeah, I like the Niners here, and I think I'm going to take them by 7 or by 6.5.
Yeah. God, you kind of got me. That little Niner speech got me rolling. But
They're good, dude. They like if they
yeah,
were if they were
flip me
healthy
over
the
to the Niners.
okay, if they were healthy the whole year, like even if Ayuk got hurt, if McCaffrey was healthy and they were going into this game and they were 7-2, you probably wouldn't blink at this line.
Yeah, you're right.
Like the McCaffrey thing changes it so much because now they don't have to run any like weird stuff to get guys open. Like
Yeah.
they have their entire offense back, minus Brandon
The
Ayuk, who
gimmicks
doesn't
are
really
gone.
matter because they have Juwan Jennings healthy. Like everybody's healthy besides Ayuk
Right. And what's
and their
funny
kicker.
is if this offense is good, they gave Ayuk all that money for no reason.
Yeah, and it is good.
Yeah. Their kicker. I feel bad for Jake Moody. He clearly is just like not 100%, and then his wide receiver tries to punch him in the face. Um,
Yeah, also like I don't know what Debo was wearing before the game, and I don't know if this is just Twitter bait, Well, I heard those guys were talking shit on his outfit. I think that might have made him kind of built up some tension before the game, and then he missed the
Oh,
three
that's
field goals.
hilarious, dude.
Did you see what he was wearing, dude? He looked like he was going to a Diddy party.
Oh God.
He had like a leather top on, and then like shorts that were like 4 inches long, and he had dress shoes on with it. It was just a weird outfit.
Oh
Well,
Jesus.
I
Yeah.
don't even know if he's like that pivotal to their success right now. Like McCaffrey and then like Pearsall's I don't know. Debo just might be like I mean he's still
Another
gonna have big
expendable.
games here and there, but he might just end up being like a really good decoy to get everyone else open now that he's like healthy because you have to guard him. You have to plan your defense around Debo a little bit, but with all these other guys getting better, like I don't know, man. It's weird when this happens to teams because I feel like obviously the Niners would have rather been healthy all year, but
That's
you
true.
have these injuries and you have guys that have to step in and they get a feel for the offense. They're getting more plays from it, I don't know. It just feels like it might end up being a good thing for them come playoff time. Like Jawan Jennings getting all these like targets this year, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. They
It's
have
always a good
Pierce
thing,
Hall.
dude. This is why the
They
Niners are
have like
perpetually good.
yeah, and then like if McCaffrey gets banged up, like you just had a guy who averaged like 100 yards a game as his backup, who you can still use by the way. And I think they're probably going to use so they don't uh overdo anything with McCaffrey, but yeah, it's I don't know. I'm definitely seeing the backdoor playoff entry with these guys,
Oh,
and
for
then
sure.
I definitely see
Sure.
a run.
Um, all right, we move on to what most people are going to say is the game of the day. It would be for me if the Steelers weren't playing the Ravens. Uh, Chiefs, Bills. Bills are 1.5 point favorites. 46.5 point over under. Josh Allen against Patrick Mahomes for what feels like now the upteenth time. Regular season, this is actually a pretty even matchup. We all know the postseason stories. If you've come to know anything about this matchup, it's that for some reason, even when the Bills win, it feels like they lose. And no matter what, you feel like the Chiefs are going to pull it out. Chiefs have not played a complete game this year. In fact, they've played a lot of games that I think they should have lost. This is the best team they've played since the Ravens week one. And you know what? I'll say it's the best team they've played all season because that Ravens team week one isn't the Ravens team that's playing now. I want to take Buffalo. I kind of feel like I
Yeah,
have
do
to
it.
take Buffalo, and I'm going to.
Okay, cool. So I can get my 2 points back from when they played the Niners.
You're taking the Chiefs.
Dude, there's absolutely no way I'm not taking Patrick Mahomes as an underdog.
Yeah, dude, it sucks. I wish that the line wasn't that.
It's gonna be 24-23. Noah Gray gets him into or Kelsey because he's getting 85 targets a week. Or Hopkins. It'll just I don't know. I'm not even excited for this game because I know it's gonna end on a buck or field goal. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, why did I ever think anything else would happen?
Uh, yeah, I get it. I know. I hate him so much, and I love Josh too much, and I won't pick against him this week. I want to send him good vibes.
Doesn't matter. You're working against the devil. Your good vibes don't matter, dude. They have devil dark magic working in Kansas City that makes it so they don't lose games ever.
Yeah, you remember when he ruptured his Achilles 2 weeks ago, and then like came back and played immediately?
Yeah, it's fine. This team's gonna be loaded. Like when Pacheco comes back,
Yeah,
I'm not even ruling out like Rasheed Rice is all of a sudden healthy in the AFC Championship. That's weird.
right. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah. Even if the Bills win, it doesn't matter either.
No, it
We'll
doesn't.
just lose in the AFC Championship if they make
Yeah,
it.
it'll only give them false hope, dude.
Yeah, I
All right,
actually
let's.
love pardon my take saying like maybe the Chiefs want to lose this.
Oh, they might. They might. I- Being undefeated sucks. The pressure is actually so real it impacted Tom Brady. So I don't know. The Chiefs just look like they don't give a shit. They still win.
Yeah, I don't really know if they do.
Go Bills, man. God, please, Josh, just beat them, please. I hate watching them win. All right. We got to move on to brighter things. And I actually love this next matchup way more than I should. Bengals, Chargers. Chargers look like a wagon right now. They are so different from what they were last year. Their defense might be the best defense in football. Their offense is clicking. That being said, the Chargers haven't, to my knowledge, really played anybody super notable recently. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and that includes the Saints, Browns, and Titans. Uh, the Bengals are the Bengals. I mean, they've been the Bengals all year, up, down, side, side. We don't know what's going to happen every week. Jamar Chase is a freak. This is by far the best offense that this team has played all year. This is going to be their biggest test outside of the Chiefs, I guess you could say, but really, I don't think the Chiefs' offense is all that great right now. Um, I don't really know where to go. It's a 1.5 point spread for the Chargers. It's a 46.5 point over under. Uh, What are you thinking, Jalen? I'm going to let you go first here.
Chargers.
Yeah, I thought you would say that.
I don't believe in the Bengals.
It's tough. I mean, this is it for the Bengals if they lose this game.
This is a must win for the Bengals.
It's a must win for a lot of reasons. One, it's these two teams are going to be clawing for probably the same wild card spot.
Yeah.
Uh, and two, the Bengals still have 2 games against the Steelers on the schedule, but that's kind of it. If they can win this, sneak one of the Steeler games and win all the others, you kind of feel like maybe they're going to be in the playoffs. But if they lose this, the wheels are coming off, and they're coming off really fast. So
Is this a loser leaves town?
no, because I think the Chargers still have a lot of breathing room.
Oh, do you? Because they play the Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs, Bucks with Mike Evans back probably by then, and then the Broncos, Patriots, Raiders. So it feels way more like a must win for them now that I look at that.
Yeah, wow, great point. I mean, they have 1, 2, 3 games right there, bang, that come after this that are really tough. Um,
That's a tough schedule, man.
I want to say loser leaves town because it's fun to say. This is a Bengals leave town if they lose, but
Okay.
I, I'm not prepared to say that the Chargers are completely out if they lose this game.
Are we saying like 10 wins gets you
10
in?
wins, I think, gets you in.
Okay, so they go Chargers win this, they get to 7. And they have Ravens, Falcons, Chiefs probably go 1-2 in that. They're at 8. Ugh. I mean, it's better for the Chargers, but if they
8,
lose
9, 10,
this, then
11, though,
it's
you get at those last three.
I don't know if the Broncos are like an automatic win. Pats and the Raiders are, but I don't know. That's
I
a
think this
really
Broncos
tough
thing is
rookie
going to come
schedule.
crashing down to earth, dude. I think the Broncos thing is on
I
its
don't know,
way
man. It's
to.
it's still a division game, and like that late in the year, if you can spoil someone, I don't know. I don't want to rule out that game as like oh, they'll win that for sure because they only won by a touchdown earlier this year, and that was without
Sure.
Pat Surtain.
Yeah. Fair point.
Great matchup though.
Yeah, it is. And this is a great game. Uh, I'll take the Chargers. I'll be realistic about this.
Nah, that's fraudulent. You
What
love
do
the
you
Bengals,
mean, dude?
dude. You love the Bengals. You
I
can't
know, dude. You're right. I shouldn't. Here's the problem, dude. The
talk
game
to
the
me.
Bengals needed to win was last week.
Why is that?
It puts them at 5-5. It gives them breathing room for games like this and the Steelers 4-6. They have to win out. I mean, they got to run the table.
There's
And
oh man, this is so tough, dude. Because if they win this game, they go to what 5-6,
yeah,
and they have the Steelers, Cowboys, Titans, Browns, Broncos, Steelers.
right. And between the sandwich between those two Steeler games, all of those games feel winnable if you win this game.
Yeah,
But if you drop one of those games to the Steelers, if you drop one more game, you can only win 9 games this year.
yeah, yeah. You're right. We're starting to get into like really must-win games for some teams. I think.
Yeah, the margins are so narrow. And all right, I'll do it one last week. I'll take the Bengals.
I don't know
I'll
if
flip.
I kind of want to take the Bengals too.
The margin is so thin for them. They have to win this game.
Yeah, let's see. This is so tough because like I see a version of them that's played the Ravens and I'm like, holy shit, this team is actually good. But then like I watch them play the Eagles a couple of weeks ago and they got destroyed.
Right.
I'm gonna I think they're gonna win this game. I'm gonna take the Bengals.
All right. Come
I
on
don't think
over,
Joe
I guess.
Burrow's
You talked us both into going to that.
I did. I just feel like it's more of a must win for the Bengals. And I
Yeah, it
actually like
definitely
Joe
is.
Burrow in this situation.
Oh, he's so good, dude.
Yeah, he's very good. And I gosh, I think it's gonna be really tight though. This 1.5 feels very, very accurate.
Yeah, and by the way, earlier this year you asked me how many quarterbacks there are that I'd take for Joe Burrow. Dude, he's flown up the list.
Yeah, but I mean that it's inflated by a bad Ravens defense, just a little bit, but I agree. He's been very good this year.
I mean, he's the leader in passing yards.
It's because they have to.
Yeah, I think he leads in like a handful of stats though. Uh,
Probably touchdowns.
he's a leader in touchdowns, and he only has 4 picks, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's
Um,
doing everything he can every week.
yeah, yards per game. It's him, Purdy, and Gino.
All they do is
Completion
throw though.
percentage.
Like
Yeah, he has a
they barely
68%
run the ball.
completion percentage for a team. I bet you if I click attempts, and he leads the league by in attempts over Rodgers and Mayfield. but he only has 4 picks. I mean, he's unbelievable.
He's really good.
There aren't a lot of guys who, I mean, are leading the league in attempts. The other guys that are in his attempt range: Daniel Jones, 7 picks; Geno Smith, 10 picks; Baker Mayfield, 9 picks; Aaron Rodgers, 7 picks. By the way, they all have less attempts than he does. He 4 picks. I mean,
What's Lamar at?
that's a great question. Um, God, I gotta go to like make something that makes this not so heinous so that I can find Lamar quicker. Yeah, like the stats can get so bad. Lamar is at 2 picks.
Wow,
Lamar, man. 24
that's
touchdowns, same as
insane.
Joe Burrow, 2 picks. That's insane. That's insane. We'll see after this week. All right.
Yeah.
All right, we got to move on. That's my bad. I got into a Joe Burrow hole.
Okay.
Final game of the week kind of blows. I think this is finally where the Texans can get a win on national television. Texans are playing the Cowboys in Dallas. The Texans are 7.5 point favorites. I don't think that's even close to as high as it should be. I don't even know who's going to play quarterback for Dallas this week. Is Cooper Rush or Trey Lance? Uh, the Texans have looked
Doesn't
good
matter.
in 2 brutal losses,
Yeah, I think Nico
right?
Collins is back for this game
And
too.
that's
So
that's going to change everything.
I think they're gonna destroy Dallas just like the Eagles did. And I think
Yeah,
the Texans are gonna start hitting a stride here soon.
they're going to be real hungry. That Lions loss is so tough, and there's not really an excuse. You have 5 interceptions. You should win a game. But the Lions are just that team this year.
Yeah, can we talk really quickly about um that pass by Stroud? Like why he put 5 seconds of airtime on it?
Yeah, I don't know, dude.
That was so weird.
I don't know.
Like just make the pat. You don't have to like it was like he was lobbing it to like a 10-year-old. Like it was Tank Dell. Just just
Just let
throw
it
it to
rip,
him, man.
bro.
Yeah. Yeah, that was probably the game. That that pass cuz that would have put him up
No, for
30 to
sure.
13. And then it's out of reach and you're feeling a lot better about your season.
Yeah, I mean the funny thing about the Texans is you want to say all these things like, well, if they win that, they feel a lot better. But the thing is they have the 4 seed locked up.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
They don't have to get serious. I mean, the next couple of games, and these are division. They play the Cowboys, terrible Cowboys team. They play the Titans and the Jaguars. Okay, fine. Dolphins maybe a little tough. Chiefs maybe a little tough. Ravens definitely tough for these guys. Like that. That's a tough little stretch. Dolphins, Chief, Ravens. But guess what? Then they play the Titans, and it doesn't matter because if they win the next 3 weeks and win the final game, that's more than enough to win that division.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
10 wins is more than enough.
I just wonder if they want to win more games for like home seating, but
I mean, I guess, yeah, of course you do, but you know, I think really the reason you'd want to win more games is because if you're the 4 seed, you play the 5 seed, and that means you're either playing the Ravens or the Steelers, and that sucks.
brutal.
And that's why you don't want to be there. Um, I know I wouldn't want to be playing either of those 2 teams in the first round. And out of all the division winners, I'd like to be playing Houston more than any other, but I might regret saying that once Nico Collins is back
And Will Anderson.
and Will Anderson. Yeah, they're banged up. It's a midseason slump. I think they're going to come back. I think they're going to be just fine. Um, I could see them winning a bunch of games to end the season. Who knows? By the time they play Kansas City, if Kansas City will even be fully invested anymore, they could have their division near locked up by that point. Um,
You could
it
be playing
also is
Carson
going,
Wentz.
yeah, and it's the game that Kansas City plays before they play the Christmas game. I don't know. Uh,
Oh yeah, they want to win that Christmas game. I know they do.
Kansas City, oh, of course, dude. They want to put Taylor Swift on TV like a million times. The NFL's talked enough about
Yeah.
that. Because part of the thing is like by that point in time, if the Chiefs haven't lost, they're 9, 10, 11, 12,
Like four,
13,
15 and
14,
0.
15. They're 15 and 0. 15 and 0. They don't need to beat the Steelers.
No, but they
They can
will just because.
not just because they hate me.
Because they wanted to like I don't know, this thing with the Chiefs where they could go undefeated and three-peat. I actually like pardon my take
Oh,
was
it's a
talking about
motivator.
they were talking about how much pressure they would feel. And I don't think they would feel pressure from that.
I think right now
Maybe
it's their
some of the
biggest
guys
motivator.
would, but like Mahomes is not going to feel pressure from that. Their defense is going to feel pressure from that. Like they'll be fine. They'll be like I would say they'd be more excited going into the playoffs being undefeated than not. But that's just me.
I agree. Yeah.
Good week though. A lot of good games. Really, really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm super excited. And um it's great to be at this point in the season. It sucks, but it also comes with the benefit of knowing that the games have meaning. So,
Yeah.
uh thank you, Jalen, as always. Thank you to anyone who remained listening till now. I appreciate everyone who listens every week and who makes it this far into the pod. I know we have a little bit of a tendency to ramble, but we're having fun. So we hope you guys are having fun listening to us too. Thank you, Jalen, and good job, man.
Yeah, you as well.
See ya.
Peace.